What's up everyone, Springer17 here, coming to you with another rambling review. This time we're taking a look at Age of the Prime's Vortex, first of the Combaticons that we've got in the first part of Bruticus. Unfortunately, we'll be waiting a while for the next ones to come out, given the recent reveals, but they do look excellent. That's actually what triggered me to pick this up. Wasn't really that interested until I saw what the others are going to look like, and then thought I need to get this for my collection. This is the only one of the modern combiners that I've got. I've not bothered with any of the other combiners, Superion or Devastator or Menasor, but I really like the Bruticus design. So we're going to take a little look at the alt mode here, and then we're going to do the transformation and get him into robot mode as well. So we'll see what you all think. If you want to pop it down in the comments below. So, starting off in helicopter mode, it's a very nice little, and I will emphasise little, helicopter, working rotor that spins reasonably freely if my thumb's not in the way. You can see that's all right. This little rotor back here doesn't really spin. It can move, but it doesn't really spin anywhere. Obviously, it's a helicopter. It's kind of going to stay in just the one shape. There's not really any posability. You can kind of see a few robot bits underneath there. Got a landing gear here that you can pop out of the back of his head. But to be honest, it's probably not really needed. You've got these tiny wheels on the front, and then he does kind of just sit on that wheel okay. But it's a very flat underside, so there's not really a lot that's going to get in the way of just having him stood. A couple of portholes here, so if you have a flight stand that will fit into those, then those will fit quite nicely. Comes with these three guns, which we'll see a bit more of in robot mode. We've got this first one here, sort of the larger of the guns. Take a closer look at that. It feels very small. The post is very small on this. He holds it okay, but it is a very short 5mm post on there. And we've got these two weapons on the front here as well. You can peg them in many different places on here. I've got them underneath at the moment. They've got these little side pegs and the 5mm port. So there's also slots on the side of the front here, so you can have them pegged in like that if you want to, or copied over on either side. You can have them pegged in where I just had the larger gun, so we've got a slot here as well, and again same on the other side. Does kind of help to hide a little bit of, there's a bit of a gap there. It doesn't look fantastic, but that does help to hide them. I think even without the guns, the helicopter mode does look great. I love the colours that they've used, the sort of deep grey, metallic kind of grey here with the sort of the slightly darker grey for the blades and the black windows, that blue stripe going through as well, and some of the blue colour obviously comes through in the robot mode as well. It is reasonably small, as I've said, so take a look at another Deluxe. This is the Sunstreaker from the Autobots Stand United 5-pack. So yeah, it feels very thin. I mean, it feels dense. It's not significantly lighter than this one, but it is very thin. And I think they've done it mainly as a service to what will eventually be the combined mode, which I'm very excited to see. So that's the helicopter mode. And then let's get to transformation. Now you can leave the blades completely on. You can obviously fold them down like this if you choose to. I'm going to take them off just because they tend to get in the way a little bit. They'll just go back on in the same place. So first thing that we're going to do is come to the back here, open up this tail. So you should get your nail in there and pull that apart. Wiggle these out because they are actually held in to two little slots on there. They're not held in tightly, they don't peg in or anything. They're just a little bit. They sort of rest there. Let's pull those apart. You can then, he says, bring the arms down and around. We'll reorient them in a little while. It's just mostly to get them out of the way here. You can fold these, spin these round now as well because they will rest there for robot mode. And you want to spin this back part around just so you can get some clearance to get the rest of the robot mode out. So we'll fold up the landing gear in his head. There's a little flap back here that we will fold back, but it's easier to do it once you flip this back around. So you open up the front of the legs. Very Combiner Warsy. Pop that out. Get it all pegged up pegged back in, and it snaps very nicely. Split those apart, and then just spread the front of the helicopter to become the feet. We can spin these arms around so they're the right way around, and then we're on sort of a hinge and then a swivel in here. Just flip this back up, and then we can pop this panel down, spin his head. And the arms, you can leave them like this if you want to. This folds back. You've got to spin this part around, and that does fold back to get out of the way. You can leave them like that, or you can get the arms out of the backs of the helicopter tail, and they kind of just sort of hang around on the back there. That's the one disappointing part about this. I don't know what else they could have done, but it's the one bit that just makes it look like a bit of a mess in robot mode. I mean, I'll be honest, once we've got all of them, I'm not going to be displaying this guy in robot mode. Most likely he's going to be just part of the full Bruticus, but I'd rather they'd have thought of something else to be able to do with these back parts. You can see from the front it's kind of okay, but when you turn it around, just a whole back end of a helicopter hanging off of each arm. And it also means the hands are extremely thin. They don't look it from the front, they look fine, but from the side, very, very thin hands, very flat. Which is presumably why they've made the posts on the guns so small, because they can't go in very far anyway. But it is just a shame that they've ruined sort of the look just based on the bits that are hanging off the back. I still like the design of this, which is why I picked it up. But yeah, it is mostly going to be one that I keep aside for the rest of the combiner to come out. So as you can see, he's got his guns here, his main gun here, and you can peg that into either hand without any problems. He's also got 5mm ports on the outside of each arm, so if you wanted to, you can take the smaller guns or even that larger gun, pop those in there. I like kind of the fully armed look for him, so we'll pop these guns in there. And they do pop in very nicely. You can see you can't peg them in if you do keep the helicopter tail over there. And I don't think, I mean, I've had, obviously there's more 5mm ports all over the place on this thing, but there's no specific sort of like designated storage space for them. And then you've got the blades, which are again just a 5mm port, so if you want to, you can peg that on the outside of the arm or in the hand if you wish. I'm just going to pop it back in there. You can obviously spread the blades again to give him sort of like the full rotor look on the back. But yeah, I love the colours and I love the design. I mean, that head sculpt is absolutely perfect for Vortex. I can't wait to see the others and actually in person. I love the kind of simple design on here. Again, he feels small. Looking at other Luxes, he's not, but I think he feels small mostly because all of his limbs are quite thin. They're quite sort of out of the way, really, when it comes to the sculpt. There's not a lot of massive parts to him, but it is good. I mean, here's, for example, the Orion packs that came out in the 2-pack with the Senator Shockwave, and that's essentially the Hound mould. So, yeah, it's not really, I mean, it is slightly taller than him, actually, so it's not a massively small figure, but it does feel small to hold. It feels solid, it feels dense, it feels nice, but it is very much obvious that they decided to sacrifice a few things for the sake of the combined mode. And that alt mode does look clean, even though it is quite small. So that's my look at the Age of the Primes Vortex. Feel free to comment and like. Share this video if you think someone else might be interested. I think these have become quite rare. I was quite lucky to get hold of one just in a retail store without having to go out of my way to look for it. Even when I did decide I actually wanted it. And I think it will be a great part of the overall Bruticus, but not something I'm going to be doing a lot with until those other parts come out. It'll probably just sit on a shelf for the next 12 months, if I'm honest. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.